And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. If at any time during this net should an emergency arise, please notify net control, and we'll stand by and allow those in need to access this frequency. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? And hearing nothing, we will continue. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our QSO-VLOG network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, fullest sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the QSO-VLOG network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 1,600 QSO-VLOG Aircheck recordings. Our mission statement for the network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics in current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arlington, Virginia, trying to get the best copy on our 100-watt friends. Now, the audio from these 4 SDR receivers comes up on a 6-position rotary selector. Also in the selector is our local receiver audio. And today our local receiver is running 2 large 10-foot vertical magnetic loop antennas, one aimed north and south, the other east and west. The north and south mag loop can be rotated. They are selected by a 3-position rotary selector. Position 3 of the selector is a co-phase option that many times is 3 to 4 dB hotter than mag loop 1 or 2 by themselves. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR specially oriented dipole antenna. One leg of this dipole is broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg is broadside to Miami, Florida. And as we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube QSO-VLOG video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all of our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA-5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. During this time of pandemic that has challenged us all, we pray that you will protect everyone, especially our elderly. And also, Lord, We seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters. And through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. And to continue, this area in the band where we currently are have many nets trying to operate in a very confined area. So I would appreciate all stations checking into our QSO-VLOG net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. Again, please, no wider than 100 to 2900. This is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net, and now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GCL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes. Got a copy?
Yes, Jim, I've got a beautiful copy, or 10 over 9 direct. Copying you direct as I don't have capability of picking up SDRs. I do have a nice contact with yesterday with Captain Mike as he was flying from Philadelphia on the Boeing 767 to Sacramento, and he was at 36,000 feet, just entering Nebraska as he headed west. Jim, go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Well, gosh, play on, sir.
Play on, sir. Sir.
Okay, and here he is.
Great copy, Charlie. You're 591. We just entered into Nebraska from Iowa here, and we're at 36,000, maybe 50 miles east of O'Neill, Nebraska. And we're showing about 460 knots right now with 1,130 miles to go. ETA into Sacramento 01. We're going to go 0120 into the tarmac there. Speak about 9:20 your time there, Charlie. But great copy. And by the way, I've been listening to you from the remote station.
Okay, just a little bit. Here he is further west.
K1G's an Alpha Squad forward south.
Okay.
The other day when we landed, it was still daylight, so definitely should be sunshine out there. But this evening, I guess I won't be able to hear you guys when you're on 40 here.
Okay. Well, at that point, I think he was in western Nebraska, approaching on the very last one, Wyoming. One thing I wanted to mention to you, Jim, and I'll do that on the next transmission, which might involve all of us ham radio operators, K1GZL. Could you copy the recording of Captain Mike? Go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Perfect copy there. Good show. And I guess I had the equal levels between Rochester and Milford, and it seemed like the latency was about identical. I could switch back and forth, and it would be at the same place during the switch. So just amazing. Sometimes those latencies get unruly. I have one that went out to about 12 seconds latency, and that's kind of hard to deal with when they're out that far. So what is this mysterious part you've got, Charlie?
Charlie?
Okay, now this involves a volcano that's about to blow up down in St. Vincent in the eastern Leeward Islands. Of course, that's well east and southeast of Puerto Rico and north of South America. That has been rumbling lately, and that's a gas volcano like Tambora was back in 1815 or 1860 down in more or less the Southwest Pacific. That resulted in the year without a summer. The year without a summer, well, especially up here in the Northeast, where snow fell in June, I believe also a little bit in July and August. And of course, the fruit and growing everything was horrible, absolutely terrible. Now, what is possibly have to happen this thing may explode. And I believe it has at least a 50% of doing so. And then the ash would go up into the stratosphere up to 30, 40 or more into the atmosphere and spread at that latitude down in the eastern, down around St. Vincent, in that chain of islands. That would go from east to west, and then it would spread out and end up going across Mexico and parts of Central America, then get out into the Pacific Ocean. And right now we're in La Nina episode where the ocean is a little cooler than normal. What this would do would maybe cool it down a little bit more, and this cloud would spread out all over the world, and so temperatures would start to drop down, dropping down, and this whole business might set off other volcanic explosions. Now, if this happened this next year, you wouldn't have the deep blue skies we're used to seeing, when we're under high pressure. You'll have a little bit of a sort of a milky look to the atmosphere, and the temperatures, summer temperatures, which will make a lot of people happier, won't be quite as torrent. However, that will change an awful lot of things as far as precipitation and all of that, and then we would be probably into longer winters, not necessarily colder winters, but longer winters, and cooler summers. And this is where ham radio comes into play. If this gets to the point where it really could and sets off more volcanic activity, like Yellowstone is a caldera, that thing is tremendously big underneath Yellowstone. If that thing ever got going, that would be absolutely catastrophic. And our hobby would come in very, very handy, extremely handy. ARRL, everybody involved with everybody in trying to help with communications, batteries, power outages, and the whole 9 yards. So this bears watching, Jim. I just wanted to pass on to you that within the next few days, this may happen. It may happen. That volcano near St. Vincent could really let go. KC9VKV, K1GZL. Sorry for such a long one.
No problem, Charlie. And incidentally, I have caught some of the info on that thing. And actually, the mountain, the top of the mountain, is glowing. They say they can see the top of the mountain glowing at night. Roger, Roger.
Glowing at night. Roger, Roger.
Yeah, it's hot to trot. I'm telling you, this is going to change just about everything we're used to. It's going to affect everybody, just like that horrible pandemic had. So we live in very, very interesting times, and unfortunately, negative times. Go ahead.
Yes, that is true. I'm looking for some good news. I could need a bushel of good news, Roger.
A bushel of good news, Roger.
Oh, absolutely, Jim. Absolutely. So let's see what happens in the next couple of days. We ought to learn a lot more. I'm certain within 4 or 5 days, whatever's going to happen will have happened. There we go.
Roger. Well, I'll keep my fingers crossed, sir, and hopefully this thing will back off and behave itself and not go crazy. Good talking at you, Charlie. 73 up that way, sir.
Good talking at you, Charlie. 73 up that way, sir.
Okay, Jim. I'll try to catch you next week. You sound great in here.
This thing will back off and behave itself and not go crazy. Good talking at you, Charlie. 73 up that way.
Okay, 73, Jim. I hope to catch you next week under, with this not happening, with all this not occurring, the volcanic rise, geologically speaking. KC9VKV, K1T said all work clear. Always a pleasure.
Roger, Roger, Charlie 73. Just a reminder, this is the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. My name is Jim, KC9VKV, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we're recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 4/9/21, and that will take you directly to this recording. Now, if you're just interested in other folks' QSOs, if you just do a call letter search by itself, KC9VKV, or let me rephrase that. If you do a search for KC9VKV logbook, that will take you to 1,600 of our QSO-VLOG recordings, all different kinds, and you might find that interesting also. So anyway, this is the QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout.
Radio that you want to check out, give me a shout. I sure do. I have a radio I want to check out, and I want to check it out right now. How are you, Mr. KC9VKV at 9GTO?
Roger, Roger, in 9GTO. For those that don't know, Lou is my Elmer. Good afternoon, sir.
It's my Elmer. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. How are you copying me?
Well, I'm copying you real well. Where are you located now?
I'm copying you real well. Where are you located now? I am in Clarksville. Do you need, I'm putting out about 300 to 500.
Roger, well, you have about minus 20 noise level, so you're doing real well, Roger.
20 noise level, so you're doing real well, Roger. Roger.
SDR radio, and the full wave loop, 80 meter and 40 meter is the same SWR, 1-to-1 at 50 ohms.
Oh, Roger, yeah, I had been copying Charlie up on the Milford SDR, and that's where I was when I started copying you, but I moved over to my local antenna, and there's smoke coming off my antenna now.
Well, that's meant to be that way.
Roger, well, sure enough. Good to hear you that plainly. Sometimes those signals tend to get lost. I remember a few times I had to use a Georgia SDR to copy your mail, Roger.
Oh, yeah, especially if I'm at the farm, but since I'm here and I thought about you, I thought, well, I'll just turn this thing on and say hello to Jim.
Roger, Roger. Well, what have you been up to there outside of building some excellent antennas?
Oh, man, I've got me a beautiful 80-meter full-wave loop standing up vertically, attached to a pulley at the top. Top of the tower, 10 to 2 pulleys, about 12 feet off the ground with a quarter wavelength of RG11 for 40 meters. And then I've got the full wave loop horizontally above the ground, which is 80 and 40. And I'm on it right now. I don't feel like going out and hitting the switch box. So I decided I'll just leave it alone and talk on this one. So how is my audio, Jim? How is the treat me like a new ham who just got in there and just got the radio on there. Tell me what I'm doing.
Well, you have good intelligibility, good activity in the upper regions of the spectrum analyzer, as I'm looking at it. Probably could use maybe a couple of clicks on the bottom, maybe, but you have to be careful when you get a bunch of content in the bottom, because the top needs to stay balanced with the bottom.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyway, I'm listening to myself as well, and I'll just leave it alone for right now, but later on down the road we'll do the EQ. It has a 3-band, 10-band, 24-band, 32-band. It has it all. You can do everything known to man, but that's okay. We'll just leave it alone. And it's a 200-watt radio, so it is what it is. And the family got it for me because they're trying to get me to go solid state, where the radio tracks the tuner and the amplifier tracks everybody's in in synchronicity with one another. And that way, if I do that, and my son, his compadre at his employment is a ham, and he's an older ham, and he's like, no, we need to do it. So if he's out of town or if he's in the car, he can just put his headphone on and just go do what he wants to do and change frequencies and do this and do that. So my youngest son's got a lot of influence on that, so I think I'm going to leave it up to him. But anyway, is there anybody else out there would love to hear their radio on the KC9VKV Q-Log? Please call now. And the band starts picking up around 5 to 5:30.
Yeah, when am I out at 5? Whatever, you sounded mighty good there. You are sounding choice. Good curve there. And yeah, I would leave it just like that. Max intelligibility.
Oh, yeah. Worked Ireland, worked United Kingdom. Oh, man, I have... the quad is a vertical quad, a foot away from the tower, and a diamond configuration of 40 meters. Believe it or not, 40 meters a couple of nights ago was so hot that I was working Ireland, like I said, all kinds of countries off that quad vertical. It's fed at the bottom, and the voltage nose is top to the bottom, and the current nose are left to right. But I was doing so well, and man, I tell you, I was anything that was northeast of me or out to the ocean, up in the corner there. I was having a blast bringing them in. I could hear them.
Roger. Well, at least that's half of it. Being able to hear them, you can't work them if you can't hear them, Roger.
It's been an enjoyment. Having everything suspended that way. My wife is even complimented on how she can't even see it. It's so small, number 14 gauge stranded wire. So brother-in-law, he put it all up for me. So he's been doing a lot of you name it, he's doing it. But let me get in there. And is there anybody out there that would like to have their audio checked and be able to listen to it on YouTube when Jim puts it up? Please come now and call.
It's one of them light days. Going to have to dig the shovel out and see if we can get things going here. Sounding good, my friend.
Well, I'm not going anywhere.
All right. Well, let me just see what we got out there. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. Here we go live till 5 and record all the way. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Heard a station back in there on the Georgia SDR. The station calling, try it again, please.
Georgia SDR. This station calling, try it again, please.
N0FSD, November 0 Foxtrot Sierra Delta.
Sierra Delta station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Sierra Delta station, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
November 0 Foxtrot Sierra Delta.
Roger, Foxtrot Sierra Delta, what's the name there?
Roger, Foxtrot Sierra Delta, what's the name there?
Name here is Bill Baker, India Lima Lima.
Roger, Bill, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Roger, Bill, and whereabouts are you located, sir?
Oh, thanks very much. I'm only running about 50 watts here, and I just thought I'd see how the audio sounds on the other end there. I take the gentleman up on his offer.
Roger, I'm copying you on the Georgia SDR. You're loudest on the Georgia SDR. What is your location, sir?
You're loudest on the Georgia SDR. What is your location, sir?
Yeah, QTH here is Raleigh, North Carolina. capital city here, and we've got a beautiful afternoon going here. A little bit on the warm side, but not too bad. Over.
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running, sir?
Roger, Roger. And what radio are you running, sir? This is a Yaesu FT950. It's just a regular 950 I've had for a few years, and just kind of curious about the audio. Over.
Roger. Well, we have a setup procedure. If you were to be interested, it starts with the compressor, and it does very well at 3. It's starting of a setup procedure. Compressor on at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what we need it to do. Roger.
Run that by me again. I'm not running a speech compressor here. Over.
Roger, you do not have one in your radio. We usually, in our setup procedure, we have a generic setup procedure that we start with a compressor engaged at a 3, if you'd be interested.
I don't think I want to do that. I was just curious how it sounds, uncompressed and just with the stock microphone here. Over.
Roger, sounds good, sir. In the tonality of the thing, looking at the spectrum analyzer, the only problem is that you're about 8 dB dynamic range, as opposed to the end of our setup, we would be 3 dB with an average percent of peak modulation around 80 to 85%. Right now, you're probably about 50% average peak modulation.
Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're saying there. All right. Well, thank you very much. There's another station in there. I think he's trying to get in, and maybe he'll have a little better luck with his signal there. This is N0 FST. I'll be clear on your final. Over.
Roger, Roger, Bell 73 that way, sir. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for dropping by. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. 9 GTO, I'm back on my local antenna, sir.
Okay. Well, I was curious if he could turn it up to 100 watts. I want to see the difference. I think he wants to keep it like factory default setting. He didn't want to turn the compressor on or enhance anything with there is some EQing in the 950 FT950. There is some things that can be done to make it really sound good.
Roger. Well, the real question is, why was he running 50 watts?
He may be a QRP guy.
Well, that's true, but I would think that would be around 10 watts.
That is true.
Anyway, this is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Here's some traffic up around New York. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. And nothing heard. It's going to be a slow Friday afternoon, it looks like. Might be time for another thrilling edition of Adventures in Radioland. Today, our topic is more philosophical than technical. It has to do with hasty decisions. Much to everyone's chagrin, including my own, I've recently begun bike riding again, exercising for better health, as it were. But that's not easy for me because I'm a few years older now than when I last rode. But after a 3-year bike riding vacation, well, my doctors have a way of expressing it. Use it or lose it, to which they're referring to my life. So when something is explained so simplistically, it is hard to argue the merits. But you can always find 1,000 reasons why you can't ride right at the moment, and then you wind up putting it off until later, and then later, oh, it's just too late. So I've learned you have to be absolutely committed. I repeat, you have to be absolutely committed to getting that bike ride in. Change of scene 2 days earlier. As I was getting ready to make my afternoon ride, I happened to notice a few fragments of roof installation batting laying on the ground. It got my attention for a moment, but this was bike riding time, so off I went. Well, the next afternoon, as I was preparing for my ride, I found a great deal of roof insulation batting laying on the ground. Well, wonder what that means. Of course, it's never good when you find part of your your roof insulation on the ground. And then I recalled that earlier when my neighbor had brought over some great soup he just had to share with us, he mentioned he had heard some strange sounds coming from the gutter area near the corner of my house. So here I am now, ready to go bike riding with my safety helmet locked on my head and pushing the bike out towards the road. So I stop, put the kickstand down, get out the ladder, and go take a look. Well, I have my helmet still on, and, well, it's birds. Spring birds, trying to find some neat place to make a nest. Now, I had just finished repairing a hole in the soffit on the other side of the house that raccoons had made in the roof that they had torn through, to which more spring birds had used to make a nest. I tried to be very careful to be sure they were all out when I sealed that hole up, but that was then, and this is now. I need to get on with my bike ride. I don't have time to play games with these troublemaking spring birds. I don't care if I ever hear a bird again, I said. There seems plans to whatever. And then I took a page from their playbook. It is Mother Nature's code, survival of the fittest. And I am the fittest, and I'm going to seal that hole and get on with my bike ride. But as I'm sealing up the hole, I thought I might have heard a small knocking sound coming from inside the sealed up area. But then maybe I didn't. I don't care. I'm getting out of here, and I'm getting on with my ride. Survival of the fittest and all. Meanwhile, the next morning, I thought to myself, did I really hear, and did I really say, I don't care if I ever hear a bird again? But then, what if I were the bird, sealed away in a tomb, where I couldn't hear a bird, or anything? Could I have really heard something from within that hole after I'd sealed it up? Realizations came flooding in. Animals live by nature's survival of the fittest code, not man. Man lives to a higher code that involves rationalizing, reasoning, love, hate, and guilt, which were weighing heavily on my heart. I knew I did hear something. I knew there was a bird trapped inside that sealed-off tomb. And yes, what if I were he and he were I? Would he come back to save me? No, he wouldn't, because animals aren't equipped with guilt, but man is, and mine was pulling heavily. I realized the downside of making hasty decisions and coming to regret them later. The next thing I knew, well, I was out at that hole, that sealed-up hole, making tapping sounds on the wood below the sealed area, and I noticed there was a small hole underneath the area, and there just for a moment I thought I saw a movement. It was something large, but what? I made the hole bigger and tapped some more, and then I saw a beak, a head, and some body. The bird tried to make it through the hole, but it was too small. I said, "Go back, birdie, and I'll make the hole larger," to which he did, and I did. This went on for 3 times, and during this time I remember thinking, what a moment of trust. That bird knew I was trying to save him, and I knew I was trying to reverse a hasty decision. And I was hoping God knew there was still hope for the both of us. I've found the worst decision you can make is the one you regret. And it is a godsend if you have the time and opportunity to correct that decision. Well, a little far-fetched from the radio adventures in Radioland, but nonetheless a circumstance that I felt interesting enough to write about. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Station calling, come back one more time with your call sign slowly, phonetically, please.
Whiskey 3, Alpha, Papa, Alpha.
Alpha, Papa, Alpha, Roger. And what's the name there?
Yeah, I'm in Pittsburgh. I just got this JSU 991A, and Wondering how it sounds, over.
Roger, you say you're in Pittsburgh. What is the name there?
Tony, Tango Oscar, November, Yankee. Roger.
Roger, Tony, why don't you give me 10 seconds on your antenna situation, and I'll see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Hey, Roger that. Yeah, I got a... Roger that. Yeah, I got a... call my 6-foot watch. And I'm hooked up to that. I'm only running 100 watts. I'm not hooked up to a box or anything, so the best I could do is this radio. Roger.
Roger, Tony. Well, we have a setup procedure, sir, if you'd be interested. It starts with engaging a compressor at a 3, a token amount, but it is part of our setup procedure, Roger.
Hey, Roger that. Okie dokie. Let me find the compressor here. Okay, processor is on a 3, and the mic EQ is on. Roger?
Roger. Well, we'll get to that in just a minute. So we have our compressor on at a 3. Let's go to our ALC with mic gain in hand and adjust the ALC where you speak kind of rapidly, 100, 200, 300, so you can bring the ALC meter up and see what it's doing. And what we want to do is adjust the mic gain until the ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Okay, dokie. Let me get the ALC going here. Okay, there's the ALC, and it's between 2/3 and 3/4.
Roger. Okay, now let's move to your equalization. And that radio, what kind of equalization does that radio have? Is it a 3-band?
It's a good question. I'm not sure. I would have to do some homework on that. Over.
Yes, sir. Okay. When you realize how to get to the EQ menu, what we want is about 3 clicks treble boost. 3 clicks treble boost from where you are. Roger, Roger?
Yeah, Roger that.
This would be for some articulation that will help you be heard and understood even in heavy QRM and QRN situations. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. Okay, I'm scanning through the menu now, looking for it.
Roger, Tony, what's maybe a thing where you want to take notes, just a note on that EQ, that when you find out how to get to your EQ page, we want to crank in 3 clicks, more treble boost than where it is. Roger?
Hey, Roger that. Okay, you know what? I'm probably going to, I don't want to tie you up here. I'm probably going to have to, I'm in the equalizer here, EQ level. I'm not sure which one is treble. I'd have to do a little bit of homework here to find out which one is mid-range, high and low. Roger?
Roger. Well, if it's a 3-band EQ, we want to be sure that the mid-band is flat. Always, in a 3-band EQ, always set the mid-range to flat, because the whole idea of a 3-band EQ is the top striking a balance with the mid-range and the bottom striking a balance to the mid-range. And if you boost the mid-range, then it's so much harder for the top and bottom to catch up. So we just suggest that you keep the mid-range flat and then, balance with the treble and the bass EQ. And right now, you could probably use about 3 clicks more boost on the treble EQ when you figure it out. So if you have make a note there to self, 3 dB boost on the treble EQ. Roger?
Hey, Roger that. Okay, I got that done. I'm not sure. I'm looking through the menu mode now here. I do have the bandwidth set right, 129 from my other radio. I know you always say that, but I'll have to do a little bit of homework here. But overall, right now, how's the sound? Bassy, or just needs a little treble, or what?
Yeah, it's perfectly usable now. You have, fairly good articulation, but you need just a little bit more to bring out some definition in the words, and that's what top-end EQ does. So you have that note to yourself to crank that in when you find it after you check out how to get there from your operator's manual. Roger.
A couple clicks. Okay, let me try that.
Actually, it's 3 clicks. 3 clicks boost from where you are on treble EQ.
Okay, did that do anything yet? Over. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1.
I think your articulation is a little cleaner, and that's what we were looking for. Roger.
Oh, Roger that. Okay, sounds better now. Over.
Roger, you have slipped down below my noise level now, right at my noise level, so I can't do much at this point from the standpoint of, judging what your audio is. My spectrum analyzer is reading more noise than signal. So let me say 3s to you, sir, and try, we'll maybe get in contact next Friday if you get a chance, and maybe we'll have more propagation, and I'll be able to hear you cleaner. Roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Charlie 3 Oscar November uniform, Southern Maryland.
There's a Kilo Charlie 3. Sir, come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, Kilo Charlie 3.
Roger, roger. It's Kilo Charlie 3 Oscar November uniform. And we're located in Southern Maryland.
Okay, Oscar November, what was that? Give me your last phonetics.
Oscar November uniform. Oscar November uniform.
Roger, my uniform was up on a dividing line. It looks like Oscar November Oscar, but it's Oscar November uniform. Roger, roger. What's the name there?
Hey, the name here is Chris. Happy Friday to you, sir.
Roger, Chris, right back at you, sir. And where are you located again?
Yes, sir. We're in Southern Maryland. In Southern Maryland.
Southern Maryland. Roger, roger. And what radio are you running, sir?
Yes, we're running the new Yaesu FT DX10.
Copy FT DX10. Is that a Roger?
Roger, roger.
Roger, roger. Chris, so give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us. Roger?
Roger, do you want me to transmit?
Yes, sir. Give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system.
Good. We're running, obviously, Buckmaster 3,000 watts, and we're running that to a Buck. She's configured for a flat top, and she's 7-band, and she's about 45 feet up. So it's an all-center fed dipole, flat top configuration, about 45 feet up. And configuration about 45 feet up. And let's see, was that quite 10 seconds? Maybe a little longer. Yep, that's about it. And just a standard 100 watts out of the transmitter.
Roger, roger, Chris. Well, I'm copying a little bit on the Georgia SDR, and I'm copying a little bit on my local receiver. If you'd be interested in our setup procedure, it starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3. Let's see if we can add some audio to your transmission. Roger. Setup procedure starts with compressor engaged at a 3. It's a token amount, but it does exactly what we need it to do. Roger.
So right now, I'll just tell you where I'm not real familiar, and I'm a relatively new hand. Gain is set for 30. The mic equalizer is set to on. The process level, which I believe is the one you want me to turn to 3, is now set to 20. And the AMC level is set to 50. Roger?
Roger. Well, what is the input level of your processor? Is 0 to 30 or 0 to 100?
I'm not sure. Give me 1 second here. That's the process level. Let me see here. It looks like it goes to 100. Yes, it goes to 100.
Roger. So we want to set that to 30. We want to set that input level on the processor to a 30. Roger.
Okay, we're at 30. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Processor level is now at 30.
Roger. Now we want to move to the AOC with mic gain in hand, and we want to adjust the mic gain to where your AOC meter is running mid-scale to 2/3. And you do that by transmitting and speaking rather rapidly so you can see where that meter is, and then adjust it for mid-scale to 2/3.
Roger, roger. Okay, I've got my meter set so that now I can see the ALC. And I'm going to go, I guess I can't transmit to go in there. Hold on 1 second. Okay, all right, now we've got the mic gain set to 30, and you want me to crank it up until it gets in, not just short of the blue?
No, I don't care about the mic gain. I mean, as far as the actual level of the mic gain, it's the effect that the mic gain has on your ALC. And we want to adjust the mic gain to where your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Mid-scale to 2/3 of the ALC. Okay. Give me 1 second. Two, 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it didn't make much of a difference because of the mic equalizer. But once I got it to 30 all the way up to 100 did not make any difference. Right now it is about 2/3. No, actually it's about half. Less than half, actually. Probably 3/10.
Roger. All right, let's review where we are here, Chris. We have our compressor on at 30. Is that a Roger?
I'm not sure about the compressor. Give me 1 second. I'm not seeing on this rig a compressor level. Is that the same thing as the processor level?
Yes, sir. Same thing, just a different manufacturer. Compressor, processor, same thing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Like I say, you'll have to excuse my ignorance. But yes, the processor level is set to 30. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And while you speak, you can't do 1, 2, 3. You have to speak rapidly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to keep that meter up where you can see where it's going. 1, 2, 3, like that does not represent a normal speech level of words, you know. So you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, like that. That gets the meter up, and then with mic gain, you adjust that to where it's running mid-scale to 2/3.
Okay, and yes, it won't go mid-scale to 2/3 because, and that's, I already did that. So it will not go mid to 2/3 because I believe, and I might be incorrect, but because the mic equalizer is set to on.
No, sir, mic equalizer has nothing to do with your dynamic range. But incidentally, you are right at where we need to be, so let's call that quits. Close enough. Now, do you have access to your equalization controls?
I believe that, I got to remember, I think that's in the radio. Is that in the radio settings or the operating? Probably the operation settings.
It's in your menu, radio menu, Roger. Let me give you a note to self. When you find out where your equalization page is, crank 3 clicks hotter EQ on treble. 3 clicks more EQ boost on treble. Roger?
Roger. Okay, I've been there before. I'll find it.
Yes, sir, and that will set you real nice. That will set you perfect. And if you want to hear your recording, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search KC9VKV followed by today's date 4/9/21, that will take you directly to this recording. Roger, give us a couple of days to get it uploaded.
Roger, roger. Okay, thank you. So 3 clicks up on the treble and I'm all set.
Yeah, just write that down so you don't forget it. Make a note to self. 3 clicks boost treble EQ when find out where the EQ page is.
Roger, roger. Okay, sounds great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. 73 that way, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. This is the Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. There's somebody sound like they might have been on Vox. Sir, if you're on Vox, go to manual and try it again, please.
Kilo India 5 Lima India Kilo.
Kilo India 5 station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Roger. Kilo India 5 Lima India Kilo.
Lima India Kilo, Roger.
That is correct. Ends in Kilo.
Yes, sir. And what's your location, sir?
Columbus, Mississippi. Columbus, Mississippi.
Did you say Mississippi?
Roger, roger.
Roger, roger. And what radio are you running there?
ICOM 7300 with a Heil Pro 7 headset.
Roger, roger. And what's the name?
The name here is Jerry. Golf Alpha Romeo Yankee.
Roger, Jerry. Well, our setup procedure starts with the compressor engaged at a 3. Engage that compressor at a 3 to begin our setup procedure. Roger?
All right. Would it be the same for the Heil headset as it would be for the stock mic? Over.
We'll get to that. Just our setup procedure begins with the compressor at a 3. Roger?
Roger. Compressor at 3. Compressor at 3.
Alrighty. Now you're running a boom headset. Is that a Roger?
Roger, roger.
Okay. What I want you to do is take the boom and go out straight out as far as you can get that boom, and then make a 90 at the last possible moment. So that boom is straight out, and at the last moment makes a 90. Roger?
Roger, roger.
Okay, so what we're effectively doing is trying to get that boom out in front of you as far as we can. Roger?
Roger, roger.
All right, now move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you speak rather rapidly, 100, 200, 300, what we want you to do is adjust that mic gain until your ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. About 2/3 scale.
Alrighty. Now, what I want you to do is give me about 10 seconds on your antenna and tell me about your antenna, and let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us. Roger?
Roger, roger. Roger, roger. With a Comet 240 Bravo vertical antenna, about 95 watts at the moment, and of course, as I said, I'm running a Heil Pro 7.
Roger, Jerry, you've kind of slipped down into my noise a little bit, but I think that's going to come back up because you were about 5 or 6 dB above my noise level. Tell me something about the radio that you like there.
Roger. Well, hey, it's my first HF rig in many, many years.
7300.
Inactive for a
I know.
And I got my license back October 2020, so this is actually my first HF rig in probably 15 or 20 years. And new new to the hobby now. Like the radio thing, seems to do a very good job. Over.
Roger, well, you do have the radio of the century there, the absolute perfect radio. You couldn't ask for a better radio, Jerry, and your audio is sounding choice right now. You are about 3 dB dynamic range, which is what we're looking for, and that is means that your average percent of peak modulation is running between 80 and 85%. Roger?
Roger. And I did wind up backing down on the mic gain considerably while I was doing the test, and I did actually wind up picking up on the comp compression. I was at a 1 and now I'm at a 3. Over.
Roger, you slipped down into my noise there, but yeah, you know what we're looking for on that ALC meter, mid-scale to 2/3, and that is, will give you 80 to 85% average peak modulation. Roger?
Roger, I'm very grateful, sir. I'll let you pick up someone else. This is Kilo India 5, Lima India Kilo. Thank you very much.
Roger, Jerry. And if you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date 4921, that will take you to this recording and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded to YouTube.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Kilo India 5, Lima India Kilo. Back to net.
Roger. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. And if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo 0, Kilo Yankee Echo.
It's about 3 stations. Loudest one, take it. Unfortunately, that one wasn't the louder one. A louder station. Try it again.
Kilo 0, Kilo Yankee Echo.
That's the one. Give me the call sign one more time, please, slowly, phonetically.
Kilo 0, Kilo Yankee Echo.
Kilo Yankee Echo. This is KC9VKV. What's the name there?
This is Kyle in Iowa.
Roger, Kyle, spell that phonetically, please.
Kilo Yankee Lima Echo.
Roger, every time I use my judgment, it's always the wrong way to spell it. And what's your location again?
I'm in north central Iowa, Jim, about 60 miles north of Des Moines. I've checked in with you a number of times in the past and thought I'd see how my radio sounds today.
Yes, sir, it sounds good. What radio is that?
This is my old Yaesu FT101 double E. It has no processor in it, no way to change much of anything, and we got it, I think, set up in our past conversations to its maximum. But one thing I wanted to talk to you about today was the possibility of adding a condenser mic to it. You mentioned that one other time, a long time ago, that we spoke, and I think going through, say, something like a Behringer preamp or something like that. I wanted to get your opinion and ideas on how to do that.
Roger. Well, there's a number of preamps. I use an ART preamp, A-R-T, Associated something technology ART preamp from, I think, Musician's Friend. I think they're like $50-$60. With that preamp, then it has a floating power supply, phantom power supply for your condenser mic, and so you can go that way. You could go with a powered condenser mic that has its own power and amplifier. That way you could use that without having to use the preamp. In other words, the powered mic will solve the same problem. But you want an electret element in that powered mic, condenser electret mic, which will give you a very nice articulated audio, a very defined word processing, so you can hear the articulation of the word and understand what the word is, rather than just hearing kind of mumbles, right?
Okay. Well, what was the name of that microphone element again?
Okay, if you are using an electret, it's called an electret condenser element in the in your powered mic. You know, you have to have, in other words, your radio does not furnish DC volts on the audio. So you have to have DC volts in order for an electret mic to work. So if you had a typical powered mic that's self-powered, has a battery, and generates a voltage for the electret microphone, then you could use that. The other way, and that's what I do, is I have what's called an ART preamp, A-R-T preamp, from Musician's Friend. I think they're like $60 or so, and then it has an output that you can run into your radio. It has an output volume control that you can set to whatever you need to, and it has a input set, and it also has phantom power supply for a real condenser microphone if you wanted to go that way, or an electret microphone if you wanted to go that way. It furnishes the phantom power supply for condenser mics. Roger?
Okay, well, I'll look into that. I thought I might try something different with this old radio to see if I could improve upon it at all, and maybe I can't. I don't know. It's probably about as good as it can get possibly. So with that, I'm going to back out of here, let somebody else have a turn, and I always enjoy listening to your YouTube presentations, and that's one of the main reasons why I call. So with that, this is K0KW. Thanks very much, Jim, 7-3, and keep doing what you do.
Roger, Cal. Well, I think we went through your radio before there, and we worked out a reverse mic bass build-up proximity effect situation, and we found an ideal place, and you are sounding choice. I don't think you need to do anything to it, sir. Just speak upon it. I think you've got it, Roger.
I think you're probably right. I'd probably be smart just to leave it well enough alone.
Well, I mean, it sounds perfect to me. It sounds absolutely perfect to me. Good dynamic range, good audio articulation. So, you know, what more could you ask, Roger?
You're right. I guess that's right. This is definitely not an FM station.
Well, you got plenty of top end. You do have plenty of top end for articulation. So I don't see how, you know, you could improve it. I would just leave it like that and run it, Roger.
Okay, Jim, will do. Well, again, thanks very much. I look forward to hearing this on the internet.
Yes, sir, and well, you should, because that's a nice signal, nice audio. And so if you want to hear it, you go to YouTube and do a call it a search. KC9VKV, along with today's date, 4/9/21, will take you to this recording and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded. Sounds good. Perfecto. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon QSO-VLOG net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. Went through all my SDRs and did not find anyone above my noise level, so if you want to try one more time, this is KC9VKV.
WB8REH.
REH, I believe it is. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please. REH, give me about 10 seconds on your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find a better path. Roger?
Okay, very good. Whiskey Baker. Whiskey Baker 8 Romeo. KC9VKV. Jim, yeah, the name here is Jim. I had talked to you about a year ago, I guess. So I don't know. I'm hearing you quite well here. I'm only running 100 watts, but it should do it.
Roger, I'm copying you a lot better now, Jim. What is your location, sir?
My 160-meter end fed that I've been playing with. 50-meter end fed that I've been playing with. And I had everything else disconnected because we had some lightning storms. So anyhow, if I'm in that polar connection, well, we don't have to worry about it. I just thought I'd give you a shot. I've been copying you quite well here. You're about S9 to 10 over most of the time.
Roger, Jim, I'm copying you on the Milford SDR now fairly well. So what is your location, Jim?
Fairly well.
location, Jim?
Yeah, my location is northern Michigan, Gaylord, Michigan, about 50 miles south of the Mackinac Bridge. It's right on the freeway, I-75 there. I'm a little ways out of town on a farm. And our radio here it's a new one to me. I got it here in the middle of the winter. It's FT991A also, over.
Say 991A, is that a Roger?
91A, is that a Roger?
Yeah, that's a Roger. The processor isn't turned on or anything. I'm just talking just the way it is.
All right, Jim, come back one more time with your call sign, slowly, phonetically, please.
One more time with your call sign, slowly, phonetically, please.
Okay. Whiskey Baker 8, Romeo Echo Hotel, over.
Romeo Echo Hotel, Roger?
Romeo Echo Hotel, Roger?
That is correct.
Roger, Jim, well, if you're interested in our setup procedure, it all begins with you engaging your compressor at a 3. It all starts with the compressor being turned on and adjusted to a 3 for our setup procedure to begin.
To a 3 for our setup procedure to begin.
Okay, very good. Well, I just turned it on. And on this particular one, it goes from 0 to 100. And I've got it set on a 30. So that's where it is. I just turned it on, and it looks like it's right about in the middle of the ALC. What's the setting I have, over?
Roger. Now, what you might need to do is pull your mic gain down. You look to be about a dB and a half dynamic range, which is too fat. It gets blurry up in there. So, what is your current mic gain setting?
What is your current mic gain setting?
My current mic gain setting is 52.
I tried pull it down to about a 40, and let me hear you.
I tried pull it down to about a 40, and let me hear you.
Okay, Whiskey Baker 8, Romeo Echo Hotel, yeah. This is at a 40 now. I have made some adjustments in this, so I just kind of want to see where I am. I kind of thought the 50 was a little high, too. I used to run at about 35, but I was following some recommendations that I said.
Yes, sir. Now, I think you might be too close to mic. I want you to back off that mic up to about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches to your mic away. Roger?
5 inches to your mic away. Roger?
Okay, yeah, it is the hand microphone, that's for sure, over. I'm about 4 inches away now.
Okay, the hand mic, actually you can come up on mic and we'll just back off on the gain. I thought you were on a desk mic. Okay, hand mic, what you want to do with that hand mic is pull it to the corner of your lips and talk across it. Do not talk directly into it. Pull it to the side of your mouth, to the corner of your lips, and talk across it. Roger?
To the corner of your lips and talk across it. Roger?
Roger, okay, I'm sitting at about 35 now. This is where I used to run it before. How is this thing? Is this a little better?
Yes, sir. I think that's fairly well. I would like to get you just a little bit better. When you come back, I'll check my local antenna and see what's going on there, Roger.
I'll check my local antenna and see what's going on there, Roger.
Okay. On this particular here, so I'm giving you all I can give you here. My ALC with the processor on is still in the green, not quite to the mid-center, almost.
Roger. Now, and you're only at a 3 on your compressor, Roger?
3 on your compressor, Roger.
Guess we were talking the same. What did you say, over?
Yes, we doubled. You're at a 3 on your compressor. That is a Roger, and you have a 0 to 10. Is that a Roger on your compressor input level control?
10, is that a Roger on your compressor input level control?
Nope, it's 0 to 100. It's set on 30, over.
Yes, sir. Yeah. What we're looking for is about a third of the compressor capabilities. So you are right on the right mark there. 30 out of 100 is a third of its capabilities. Gosh, why don't you give me about 10 seconds on what you like best about your radio?
Why don't you give me about 10 seconds on what you like best about your radio?
Okay, very good. Well, it's brand new. I really like it a lot. I like the idea of looking at the spectrum analyzer.
I like the simplicity of the operation. I know the specs on this are very good. It's not a SDR radio. And I have quite a bit of old-time gear, which I've been dragging out. I've been trying to get it all fired up. I must have, 40 radios. And from I have quite a selection of Yaesus and Kenwoods way back, and I also have some Drake radios, and I'm just trying to get a bunch of them out and get them running because I don't need them all. I'm getting to the age where I'll probably be moving some, but I've bought all of them quite reasonable and refurbished them and stuff. And so they all work really well. And I'm kind of getting one set up on each band. But this radio is new to me, and I think it's got a nice setup. It's easy to read. It's very easy to control with the computer program as well, and so I like it a lot. KC9VKV WVREH.
Roger, Jim. I would pull that mic gain down just a little bit more. I'd pull it, if it's 35, I'd pull it to a 30.
35, I'd pull it to a 30.
Okay, that's where it is. It's on a 30 now. That's actually where I've been keeping it, so I guess my own ears were pretty correct on that. Although this, I don't normally run the processor, so that's probably where this is all coming in, over.
Yes, sir. Well, what you want, a third of that processor is a minimum amount, something you will never hear on the air. It'll never suck up at a 3, and that's the main thing. You don't want a compressor that's sucking up between your words, and you're hearing the next door neighbor beating his wife, So a third of its capabilities is where we are, and your dynamic range now looks to be about 2.5 to 3 dB, which is really good. Before you were just kind of at about a dB and a half dynamic range, and it was just on the blurry side. So now we've backed off the push, and you're about 2.5 to 3 dB, which is 3 dB is ideal, and so your words have some dynamic range now that will help in our people being able to hear what you're saying cleanly. Roger?
People being able to hear what you're saying cleanly. Roger?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. It's kind of fun. Okay, well, why don't we turn my equalizer on and see if that helps any, over?
What I would like to do is, go ahead. Let's see where it goes.
Go ahead. Let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I have some basic settings here, so I hope that it's going to improve my audio a little bit. I'm not real familiar with that. I've been playing with it a little bit, trying to get it within the ballpark of my voice. So this is with the equalizer on and with the processor on. My ALC is right dead center, and my mic gain is set at 30. Over.
Roger. Now, is that a 3-band EQ on that radio?
Roger. Now, is that a 3-band EQ on that radio?
Yes. You got a mid, high, and low.
Roger. And what is your treble setting? What is your current treble setting?
Your treble setting. What is your current treble setting?
Let's see. I think it's 900. Over.
That would be the frequency. What is the intensity? You have a cut and boost control. What is your boost control reading?
What is your boost control reading?
Okay, the gain is a -5. Over. -5.
All right. On your treble EQ, then take that -5 to 0. Straight up, neither cut nor boost. Roger.
Straight up, neither cut nor boost. Roger.
That would be the flat position.
That would be the flat position.
Okay, took me a minute to get it moving here. Okay, I'm on the flat position and the mid-range right now, over.
All righty, I want you to go back to your mic gain and cut it down to, what was it last we left?
And cut it down to, what was it last we left?
30.
You put it on a 25 and let me hear you, sir.
0.
You put it on a 25 and let me hear you, sir.
Okay, Jim, here we are. We're set at 25. This is, by the way, I'm setting
What I'm setting is not the processing parametric. Is that what you wanted me to adjust? I was just doing the one without, so I probably have to go up there to set that mid-range. Over.
No, I think you're all right there. To begin with, though, you want to be sure that your radio is in the 100 to 2900 passband. 100 to 2900 passband, Roger?
100 to 2900 passband, Roger.
Okay, mine is at 500 to 2800, so I should take the frequency down a little more on the low end. Over.
No, sir. No, sir. Do you have a passband selector? Do you have a passband selector where you can go from 100 to 2900 or lesser bandpass? What you want to do is be in the max bandpass, 100 to 2900.
Max bandpass, 100 to 2900.
Yes, that's where I'm at now. Correct. Over.
Roger. And now let me hear your about 10 seconds of the thing you like best about your radio.
About 10 seconds of the thing you like best about your radio.
Okay. Very good, very good. Well, it's too bad you're not hearing me too well. I hear you quite well here. Anyhow, it's just kind of fun testing it out. My ALC is still staying right about in the center. And my passband is 100 to 2800. That is where it's set up right now. And so testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 6, 3, 2, 1. Over.
Roger. Now, do you have a 100 to 2900? Do you have a 100 to 2900?
Do you have a 100 to 2900?
I think I can do that.
That would be the ideal setting, 100 to 2900 on the bandpass.
Setting 100 to 2900 on the bandpass.
Okay, testing 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 100 to 2900 now. Over.
Excellent. Now, you want to run that radio in only the 100 to 2900 mode. There's no reason to run it less than that. When you start lesser bandpass modes, you start rolling off the top. And the top of your bandpass is where the articulation for the words is. And you want to always have maximum articulation for your words so folks can hear what you're saying, not just hear you. Roger?
Can hear what you're saying, not just hear you. Roger?
Okay, very good. Very good. Well, now I also have a gain control for each of those. The gain on the low end is 0. The gain for the mid gain is 0. And the gain for the 2900 is gain at 7. Should I be adjusting any of those? Over.
No, sir. You're good to go. I would get the Gorilla Tape and taper down. Roger, Roger.
I would get the Gorilla Tape and taper down. Roger, Roger.
Well, good. I appreciate it. Yeah, I know I needed to do some messing around here. And these aren't the best microphones. I know that. But I'm glad. I noticed my ALC is kicking up a little bit more now, so I'm probably doing pretty well. And I'm happy with it so far. So anyhow, thanks for the help, and we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you can hear me better the next time. And thanks a lot. KC9VKV, WV8REH.
Roger, Roger, Jim. Well, your condition has improved propagation-wise since we have been talking. So when the last transmission was you were 8 dB above my noise level, so that's a pretty good signal. Now, I would caution you to not be boosting that gain any more than where you are, because you're right now at about a 2.5 dB dynamic range, and you don't want to get further by boosting your mic gain. Keep that mic gain right where it is. I'm serious about getting the Gorilla Tape and tapering her down, Roger.
About getting the Gorilla Tape and tapering her down, Roger.
Oh, Roger. Well, that makes sense. When I was reading this article where the fellow set up to 52, I said, man, that's high, because I've been running at around 30, and when I would listen to myself, I said, man, that's about all I want to do. But, of course, that was without running the processor. And so when you turn the processor on, it even makes it worse. So I'm glad. Yeah, that's I got it cut down about half of what it was. So that's good, and the output looks great.
Roger, Roger. And if you go to YouTube and do the call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by today's date, 4/9/21, that will take you right to this recording, and you'll be able to hear your beautiful audio, Roger.
Roger.
Okay, I'll be glad to hear it. See how it sounds. It's been a while since I've talked to you. At that time, I had the FT920, and if you remember, it doesn't have much of a adjustment for anything. But I got a different mic, and I like how that works. So sometimes I'll call you with that radio, and we'll see how that looks. So thanks a lot, Jim. It's always fun. And I listen to you quite a bit. I just don't get on too often. So KC9VKV, WBREH, we'll catch you later. Over.
Roger, Roger, Jim, 73 that way, sir. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend coming up. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net for Friday afternoon. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Whiskey 4 Delta Oscar Mike.
There is a Whiskey 4 station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please.
Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign, please. Roger, Roger. This is Dom, Delta Oscar Mike. The call sign is Whiskey 4 Delta Oscar Mike. Go ahead.
Roger, Delta Oscar Mike. And what's the name again?
Roger, Delta Oscar Mike. And what's the name again? The name here is Dom, Delta Oscar Mike, located in Columbia, South Carolina, just north of Columbia, South Carolina.
Roger, South Carolina. Is that a Roger?
Roger, South Carolina. Is that a Roger? QSO, Roger, Roger.
And your radio, sir?
And your radio, sir? Okay, the radio here is IC 7300, and I'm using a PR 781 on it, since I've had it forever. And I have an 8-band EQ in mind. It's the Ukrainian one, the UR6QW. The antenna is Carolina Wyndham. It's up about 60 feet. Go ahead.
Roger, Roger. The outboard stuff, does that have any compression in it, or is it just EQ?
Does that have any compression in it, or is it just EQ? It has compression in it, but I'm not using the compression on the box. I'm using the one on the radio, and that's set at about 3.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that's what I advise. 3, and it's engaged at a 3. Is that a Roger?
I advise 3, and it's engaged at a 3. Is that a Roger? Yes, the radio's engaged at 3. The mic gain on the radio is set for 35.
All right, let's, now that we've got the compressor engaged at a 3, let's move to the ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you speak fairly rapidly, 100, 200, 300, adjust your mic gain to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3.
Mic gain to where your ALC is running mid-scale to 2/3. Roger, okay, yeah, I have it set for 2/3 of the scale right now, and basically what I want to know is if I have this outboard EQ set up right. Go ahead.
Roger, well, we get the dynamic range going, and then we can work on the EQ. I think it sounds pretty good. What I want you to do is give me 10 seconds on what you like best about your radio, and I'll listen and see what we got.
About your radio, and I'll listen and see what we got. Okay, very good there. It's the ICOM 7300. I find it a very dynamic radio for a small package. It's the antenna, analyze it. Basically, they have built into it the sound that it receives. It's definitely a good receiver compared to some of the older radios I had. And is that enough audio? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think you're in good shape. Sounds good. It looks good on the curve. You're rolling out at about 300 cycles, which is fine. You know, you don't want to get real heavy in the bottom end, because then there's a tendency to get muddy. There's a thing called phase cancellation that, you know, all of our transmissions move by skywave. And the whole deal is that sometimes there are other places that reflect back our signal at slightly different distances. And when they both come back slightly different, different. There is a tendency for a cancellation to occur, and this cancellation starts at the upper ranges of the audio spectrum. So even though you say have a theoretically perfect audio curve, you have a nice top end to bottom end, when you come into phase cancellation, you start to lose that top end, but the bottom end stays, so then you become muddy. Roger?
And stays, so then you become muddy. Roger? Roger on that. Okay, so then it doesn't sound muddy now, right?
No, sir. You're nice. Yeah, like I say, well, that usually happens when folks have material on down below 300 cycles. When they're, the 7300 is capable of frequency response down to 100 cycles in transmit and receive. And when you get down to 100 cycles, then you have to be concerned about, bass buildup when you lose the top end. Your balance is struck and defeated by cancellation because Mother Nature is bending two different signals and one slightly delayed from the other just to phase angle differences, not where you could actually hear like an echo, one like that. It's even closer than that. It's a phase angle, and when it gets 180 degrees out of phase, it cancels, and that starts at the top end of the audio spectrum.
It cancels, and that starts at the top end of the audio spectrum. Roger, I've seen that happen before. I heard it happen before anyway. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the box is set right, and I know there's other people who probably want to get in there. And so, just a quick question. What spectrum analyzer are you using when you do these adjustments?
It's on the on my set. It's just a generic spectrum analyzer. It's tied to the output of the mixer, so it's showing my EQ from the mixer and also the radio output. Roger.
And also the radio output. Roger. Okay, all right, very good. All right, thank you for your time. I just wanted to check to make sure. Doing it through the headphones is kind of difficult, and I'm not one to listen to myself too often, so it was a little rough doing it. And I've had some help from other people, but you get a lot of different opinions. All right, there. You have a good day, and appreciate your time. W4DO won't be clear on your fine.
Roger. And if you would like to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by today's date, 4/9/21, that will take you to this recording and give us a couple of days to get it uploaded.
All right, thank you, and have a good day. W4D.
Roger, 73, sir. This is KC9VKV. Got time for about one more radio check. This is KC9VKV. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Victor Alpha 3 station. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie. Hi Jim, it's DJ. Made some changes. I've got two profiles here. I'm just going to run by you. Just an update of how my audio is from the last time I spoke with you. So this is on profile 4.0. And then this is the profile 3.0. This is where you guys all usually operate. So just wanted to give you a little heads up on what I've done here. Over.
Roger, 4 sounds good to me.
Yeah, I know it does. It always does. So anyhow, okay, I'll let you maybe grab somebody else there too, Jim. And just because time's going by, you maybe get another station in there. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Roger, you had a 4 and a 5 or a 3 and a 4? How did that go?
You had a 4 and a 5 or a 3 and a 4? How did that go?
Well, I'm back. I have a 4 and a 3. I started on 4, I went to 3, and now I'm back on 4 here right now.
Roger, 4's where you started?
I really like 4 in that GTO.
4's where you started, sir?
Say again, Jim. 4's where you started, sir? I started with 4, and then I unkeyed, went to 3, and talked a little bit, and then I'm back on 4 now.
Roger, I think 4 is cleaner. It's maybe not as bright, but it sounded a little discolored. It was so more bright on the other one. My personal taste is 4, Roger.
The other one. My personal taste is 4, Roger.
Yeah, well, with your signal, it's a nice clean signal as well. So, anyhow, okay, thanks, Jim. It's just about 5 o'clock here, and I don't know whether somebody else wants in there as well. So, thanks. Nice talking to you. Take care. Victor Alpha 3 Kilo, Bravo Charlie.
Roger, DJ. What's the location, please, and the radio?
DJ, what's the location, please, and the radio?
I'm in Lambton Shores, and the radio's the Apache Lab 8 Anon. Good grief. Anon 7000 DLE Mark II, and the microphone's the RD27ND. Amplifiers the ACOM 1010, and the antenna is the Mosley Signal Master 3-element tri-bander for 40, 20, and 17.
Roger, and your location one more time.
Roger, and your location one more time.
Lambton Shores, Southern Ontario, just a half a mile walk overlooking the banks of Lake Huron. About a 30-minute drive to Sarnia, Ontario, where the twin Blue Water bridges cross over the St. Clair River to Michigan.
Roger, Roger. And give me about 10 seconds on your antenna. I want to try something. I just moved to my local antenna. Give me a 10 on your antenna.
Okay, Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie. 72 degrees here, Community Lambton Shores, Southern Ontario. Beautiful day. Got a lot of gardening done today. Some potatoes planted, some onions, and my radishes. I put some mulch out in front of the garden here, our flower bed, and that. So getting a lot of stuff done outside. VA3 KBC.
Roger, move to my local antenna. I can see your audio spectrum very nicely on the local antenna. You're about 20 over, and you have activity down to about 25 cycles. So you have a very broad spectrum, but you need to be sure that you stay on axis to your microphone. Don't turn away, because if you lose that top, you're going to be muddy, because you have such a nice spectrum that you're covering. You need the top always balanced to the bottom.
Yeah, that's the thing with the RE27. You got to talk right into them. So anyhow, okay, it's 5 o'clock here. I got some stuff to do, and appreciate it, Jim. Nice talking with you again. You have a great day. KC9VKV. This is Victor Alpha 3 Kilo Bravo Charlie.
Roger, Roger, DJ 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And with that, it's going to wrap us up. Since 3:30, we've been flying the airwaves with hopefully some information usable. And that's going to do it for now. And we're going to get out of here and return this frequency to normal, average, everyday ham use. This is KC9VKV, clear.
Oscar Charlie Oscar. Pick him up, Jim.
Oscar Charlie Oscar, go ahead.
Yeah, I guess.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I guess I jumped in there and earlier, but I guess you didn't hear me there. I thought you called me in, but I wasn't quite sure. Good afternoon, sir. Sounding good up here, just outside of Toronto, here up in Canada. Hope we're sounding half reasonable down there. Over.
Roger, yeah, it looks good. You're hitting me about, you're hitting actually Milford VASDR at about 7 over. Roger, Roger.
SDR at about 7 over. Roger, Roger.
Okay, very good. Yeah, you're 10 over up here, a little more up here, no problem at all. Okay, very good. Just a quick check-in, that's all. Hope it's okay here.
Roger, Roger. Call sign again, please.
Roger, Roger. Call sign again, please.
Yeah, it's Victor Alpha 3 Alpha Charlie Oscar.
Roger, name and radio.
Roger, name and radio.
Yeah, the name here is Angelo, and we're running a 6400M on a 80-meter loop here. Not very high, but and we're running a what do you use for an amplifier? An Electric Craft KP 1500. Over.
Roger, Roger. And what's your location, sir?
Roger, Roger. And what's your location, sir?
A place called Brampton, Ontario, just northwest of Toronto.
Roger, Roger, Angelo. Well, let me say 73, sir. Thanks for checking in. We got to get out of here. You're sounding good. Get the Gorilla Tape and tape her down. This is KC9VKV, the QSO-VLOG net for Friday afternoon concluding. And we are returning this frequency to normal amateur radio use. KC9VKV, clear.
Radio use, KC9VKV, clear. You give him a couple days, then you go to
Day's date and your call sign, and you'll see the audio clip, and you'll be able to hear what you sound like. N9 GTO.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Catch you later, Lou.
Hasta la vista, young man.
Adios, muchachos.